young MP, how do you find the security yourself? Because I know that you've had some issues on social media and with locals. How do you find that as a young dad, really? And
it can be a challenge. I said, before we started recording, I was saying that one of the things that gets me the most abuse is football, actually. Can you believe? Are you a Forest fan? Are you a Mansfield fan? You can't be both. Then loads of, I've had liberal use of the block button since I went to the Stags game at the weekend. But no, down here is a different world, really. I have to say, and guys in my office here will agree, I tend to kind of run off north as soon as I can. I've got young kids, I like being at home, and really, it's that local stuff that got me into it. It's what I'm here for. But it can be challenging in that sense. You pointed to stuff that's gone on in the past. There was a time a few years ago when I was first elected. One of those seats that was kind of iconic in the sense that we only won, I think, 5 seats in 2017. Mansfield's won. That kind of start of the conversation about the red wall and this different kind of demographic. So I was quite high profile when I was first elected and got a lot of stick to the extent where somebody threatened to kidnap my wife at one point, which was pretty awful. Police went and knocked on his door, and it turns out it was some teenage kid living with his mum who burst into tears when he realised that there were actually real world consequences to saying this kind of stuff. So it can be not fun. I think the worst example of that has been, I have been known to occasionally say stupid things, usually by accident, but no benefit of the doubt in this game is there either. And when I was first promoted, I was one of the first people to be promoted from my intake in 2017, and the second you say you gain that profile, every journalist on the Sun is digging into everything you've ever said, every tweet you've ever posted, and all sorts came up from when I was a teenager, which led to the Daily Mail camping outside my terminally ill granddad's house, stick a microphone in his face and ask him whether he was ashamed of me, which was pretty impressive levels to stoop to, I thought. But that was dead early in my career, and it kind of almost makes you think, like, what have I got myself into here? Do I really want to be here? It's rewarding in equal measure, and you'll know from local bits, when you can fix things for people, when you can change things and point to some of those projects that we just touched on, makes it all worthwhile, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't think people realise like the level that the press can go to. Not everybody, they're not all the same. But we were at a conference, and it's happened to a few of my colleagues, is somebody will just come sit down and have a chat with you. Oh, how's it going? They're a journalist, they are recording that conversation, and you're expected to know. And we had it to us in conference this year, and we've had it to a colleague, and if you're not careful, they do try and catch you out.
Yeah. Just come and sit down and say, how do you think it's all going? And then you say something negative, and it's printed in the paper the next day. You live and learn, right, with this stuff. And I think particularly now, one of the things I've learned over the time I've been here is when you first get here, you're encouraged to do everything, to get involved in every issue, every discussion, put yourself out there. Actually, you can't really get anything done if you spread yourself too thin. So I've kind of learned, I guess, to be really focused on the things that I work on. So I know when that journalist texts me now and says, do you want to comment on this? I kind of go, well, is it relevant to the priorities that I work on? Which tends to be that local, the regeneration stuff, regional economy, transport skills in the mayoral kind of conversation, and also young people and education. They're the things that I really kind of focus on. Is it relevant to that? Is it going to help me? If not, I'll just ignore it. It's not worth it, is it? Whereas I guess when you first start, you feel like you're almost like beholden to the journalist sometimes. They want a quote and you feel like you've got to give them one. Actually, you don't. You can just kind of ignore it, and it takes a while to learn that.